Hey, all right. So today I'm going to tell you about my first time in Thailand, because everybody makes mistakes. Now, I really didn't make a mistake. Before I left to go to Thailand, I went out, and back then there was no Instagram, no Facebook. It was just YouTube and web pages. So I found a bunch of bars that had websites, and it winds up that they put the girls' pictures on the website. And I saw the one girl. I said, yeah, she's pretty cute. I'll go try to see if I can see her. So my first night I get there, I go to the bar, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, she's not here. I'll just head down to Walking Street. And I had no idea where Walking Street was. And I was on Second Road, just maybe one street over from Boys Town, something like that. So I was only like 150, 200 feet from Walking Street or Beach Road. And so I'm sitting there, I'm getting ready to leave, and here comes that girl. I was like, oh, all right. So I call her over, buy a few drinks, I bar fine her. We go to Walking Street. We take her moped, and she's a horrible driver. I'm just talking. She would like almost rear end somebody, then she'd come back and then back off and then almost rear end them again. I'm just like, this girl does not know how to drive. So we started doing bar hops on Walking Street. Some of the bars aren't even there that we went to. So make a long story short is we're going home, and I'm thinking she's a little plastered. So I said, hey, why don't we just get a moped, some motor drivers down there at the end of Walking Street, and drive us home? And she's like, no, I can drive. And I asked a moped driver, hey, drive her to my apartment, and I'll take another guy. And so she told him no. So the guy didn't want to take her. Oh, she didn't want him to take her. So it winds up that she gives me her passport, and we're dust in the air. So I get almost to my hotel, and the motor driver stops and gets on his phone, and he says, I need to take you to the hospital. Your wife got into an accident. Now, the instant thing that got to me is the Philippines. If something like this happens in the Philippines, they're going to try to get you for lost wages, their rent. They're going to try to nab you anything and everything, their food, their boyfriend's motorbike payment, anything and everything, because they can't work. So I said, no, just take me to the hotel, I'm fine. He's, no, it's your wife, you have to go. So we wind up getting to, I think it's the Baptist church in Pattaya or something. It has a green cross. I see it occasionally when I'm in town. And I think it's like on Third Row. So I get there, and the girl's got a broken arm, broken leg, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I got to get out of here, because I'm not going to be paying $2,000-3,000 for this girl's medical bills. And apparently what she did was she took a right or a left or whatever, and she just drove over the curb. She didn't even drive onto the road. And so I was getting ready to walk out, and the doctor, and to this day, I don't know what he said to me, but whatever he said to me was probably some of the kindest things I've ever heard in my life. I mean, something really nice, really kind. So I said, okay. He goes, I think it had something to do with, it's not going to cost very much. So it wound up costing me about $350. So anyway, so she had a broken arm, broken leg, had to spend like 3 or 4 days in the hospital for observation, maybe 2, 3. What got me was this. I came in the next day, and I says, you need to call somebody to let them know where you at, what happened to you, and whatever. So she made some phone calls, and she's crying and everything. And I go to the bar that night, and I'm being accused now of attacking her and doing all this stuff, and I didn't do nothing here. I didn't do anything here. So anyways, to make a long story short, her landlord worked at the bar, and I think it was one of the mama sons, and she said, hey, tomorrow morning you go with me, we'll look for a bike. And then she's like, do you remember where it all happened? I'm like, I'm just brand new here, I don't know where anything happened. I said, we did pick up some we did get a motor dope over here. And so I think that afternoon she went out and she found the motor drivers, and they took her, showed her where the bike was, and she got the bike back. And then she's like, all right, her rent's $100 a month, but you don't have to pay it. Don't worry about it. It's nothing you have to do. So don't worry about it. She's just gonna get kicked out of her house. So, but I mean, that's don't worry about it. That's on her. She's just gonna get kicked out. So all right. So I'm just not even thinking. I'm just thinking, oh, here we go again. They're just gonna try to extort me. So I go in. I see her every day to make sure she's okay. Talk to the doctors. Make sure the doctors say she's okay, give her any medicine or whatever she needs. But I noticed a Thai guy in the room about her age. And he won't leave. I mean, literally, he will not get up. He will not leave. He's there from visiting hour start to visiting hour end. And I'm like, who is this guy? Now, at this point in time, I really don't care. If she said that's my husband, that's my boyfriend, more power to him, because all I cared at this point in time is she was going to be taken care of. So he will not leave. So I order a Domino's pizza. He comes, and the guy's standing there. I pay him, and I'm standing there, and I'm like, well, what do you want? And the guy's looking at me. He goes, are you going to tip me? I'm like, whoa, I got to tip you now? So she gets released. We get a bot bus to take us over to her apartment. And again, this guy goes into the house, and I'm sitting on her bed, just making sure, talking to her, make sure she's okay. The guy goes in the balcony and still will not leave. I'm like, she's like, you're gonna spend the week here. He goes, just check out of your hotel and you spend the week here. I'm like, well, he needs to leave, because I don't know who he is. I don't know why he won't leave. He needs to leave. And she's like, oh, and she won't press it. She won't tell him, hey, you need to leave. Nothing. So it winds up that I just say, hey, you know what? Here's $100. Here's $100 for your rent. I'm out of here. And so I walk down. I'm walking down like the alleyway in front of her house, the street, and a bunch of English people over there drinking beer at a table. And I'm like, she's like, runs to the balcony. I mean, broken leg, broken arm, hobbles or whatever she did to get to the balcony. And she's like, don't leave me. Don't, stay. And I'm like, just you and your boyfriend, just have fun. I don't care. I'm out of here. And she's like, don't leave me. And so so it cost me like $350, $450 for that little incident. But I did see her later on, and I did talk to her years later. I did have her passport. The only country I believe she went to was Norway or Denmark or something like that. It was one of those European countries. And so she did go there. Other than that, I don't know where, because I did see pictures in her house. She must have had 1,000 teddy bears, big gifts, a picture with her and a foreigner. So I don't even know who this Thai guy was that wouldn't leave her house. And so I met her up in Bangkok before I left to go back to Korea. And all right, we'll just say, you know what happened. But she had her friend with her, and her friend seemed like she didn't even like me. So I took them both to the shopping mall. She was buying shoes and everything. So, and funny thing was, the other day I was reading an article because I was just wondering if the bar was still around and everything. So I was thinking maybe I'll go back there when I come back to Pattaya. And just so happened there was the owner of the bar actually had a little blog about the bar, the history of the bar, and he went out and he talked about, this really got me first. He goes, oh yeah, one of the girls tried to scam one of the customers by saying that she was in a motorcycle accident. She broke her arm, broke her leg had to be amputated. Just total fabrication. I'm like, no. I'm like, that really happened. And then it was like, the guy flew there because he was so worried about her, and then found out, when he walked into the bar, found out that she was lying the whole time. So I was like, okay, that's not the girl. So all right, so anyways, that was my first night in Pattaya. So all right, tell me yours. Bye-bye.